resolute principle of leading by example were adopted throughout the sporting world, and his recognition became international upon his moving acceptance speech.
Not unless it's the coil.
Could be the clutch.
You're stabbing in the dark here. It's something in the engine, that's self-evident. Now, let's draw up a checklist and run through it. Think laterally. Now, what couldn't it be?
Windscreen seems to be working. It's not the fan belt.
When were the tappets last adjusted?
1965, I think.
You're not even trying, Ken. If you'd been driving better, this wouldn't have happened. You're not Alan Moffat, you know. These cars weren't built for that sort of speed.
How's it going, Pat?
Wasting your time, Pat.
Can somebody pass me a screwdriver, please?
Screwdriver. Looks like a hammer, except it goes round in circles.
Negative, Pat. Is the spanner any good?
Give us a look. What are we doing with the jeweler's shifting spanner?
Ken?
I think it belongs to a smaller car.
Well, it's up to yourself, Mrs. Scott. You could wait for a higher price, but frankly, I wouldn't be too optimistic. It's the high interest rates, and things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. And if you leave it too long... Anyway, you think about it.
No, I suppose I've made up my mind. Yes, I'd like to sell.
That went well. That place is worth 55 minimum. I want you to get back to the office, draw up a contract under Glenn Byron. I haven't purchased anything through that company for a while. I hate bastards who hem me in. Her, I want signed up this afternoon.
In the corporate sector, image is everything. The design of a letterhead, the company logo, the layout of office furniture. They all contribute to a company's public profile. The slightest detail overlooked can spell pearl.
4 and 7 for a place, 3 units.
Wouldn't that be better off on your desk, Bryce?
Well, who'd see it there?
4 and 7 for a place. Sorry, it's the violins.
Put it down, Thomas. Well, after paying off the bank, and then your commission, I'm not going to have enough money to buy another house.
Gloria, could you ring Steve Bronning? Tell him I'm going to be a little late for lunch.
I'm sorry, Mr. Keel, to have to back out, but I'm just going to have to wait for a higher price. Well, at least I could try.
It's too late, I'm afraid, Mrs. Scott. I explained to you the cooling-off period. You have 3 days after you sign a contract, and it's now 12:30 p.m. on the 4th day. Now, there's nothing I can do. That contract is binding. Cost you a small fortune in legal fees if you wanted to get out of it now.
Hello, Thomas.
I feel terrible now. Almost feel responsible.
Lindsay, perhaps Glenn Byron would tear up the contract if you...
Not a chance. I happen to know the general manager. He's a personal friend of mine. And he is also a businessman, isn't he? So there's no point in asking, is there?
Perhaps if...
Eric, perhaps you'd like to get Mrs. Scott a glass of water. Then I'll run you home if you like, Mrs. Scott. It's not far out of my way.
He's a good operator. He's nothing. He's just a big bully boy. He's shrewder than he looks. But I think we've got Mr. Keel. I think we should move. I think we can get your furniture back. In 5 moves.
Place 8, multiple vanilla. Numbers 1, 3, 5 and 9, 1 unit. Also race 8, numbers 2, 5 and 9 for a win, 2 units each. Well, which bit of it didn't you understand?
Excelsior Research. I was wondering if you could help me.
Gene, I like them. I worked for them, and I'm entitled. I don't care. They suit me. They were not a waste of money. Well, I'm not going to take them back again. They're a perfectly practical pair of shoes. Gene, I'll get back to you. There's nothing more to say. All right, we'll talk about it later. Later, please, Gene. Bye.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. We've had a call about some more stolen office equipment. Word processors, filing systems, furniture, worth quite a bit apparently. It was the property of the landlord, was reported stolen by the agent. He suggested the former tenants may have been responsible. They left no forwarding address.
Anything to start with?
Yeah, we think we've got a witness.
What do you think of these shoes?
Very nice, sir. Very nice.
I had a pair just like them when I was younger. They look good. Comfortable. I wonder if the oxblood would have been better.
Hard to say, sir. Blue goes with most things.
Well, that's it. I'm prepared to pay $1,000 if you
Now,
think...
this character I'm playing, could you give me a rundown of my identity? Background, old school friends, hidden scars?
No, he's never met the man. You just have to talk to him. You can be yourself.
Right. Sure, sure.
We don't know anything about real estate. I'm not sure I follow this.
You can't have been listening, Pat.
I thought I was.
It's perfectly simple. I happen to know something about real estate. See, it's only complicated if you don't understand it.
That's cleared it up for me.
Now, what about clothes? I have my silk trousers or my cotton suit.
Oh, no, that doesn't matter. Whatever you like, you'll be playing golf.
Right. I'll wear my silk then.
I'd wear the cotton, Bryce.
Is that all of it, Mr. Portman? Are you telling us everything?
Why? What do you want to know? I'll double it. $2,000.
We'll do it.
Why should you double it? I thought you'd only just met Mrs. Scott.
You're right. I suppose I'm doing it for myself, really. You see, I've been with Keel for 8 years. There've been a lot of Mrs. Scotts. I don't want to see any more.
I say we go ahead.
That's a lot of money.
We'll do it.
Can you play golf?
Golf? Of course. Anyway, I could pick it up.
Now, look, come on, Tony, knock it off. I get the feeling you blame me. Well, I rang the police. What more can I do? Yeah. Looks like it was the former tenants. No, they vacated. By the time I got there, there wasn't a stick of furniture left. Desk, filing cabinet, nothing. It'd all be interstate by now. Yeah. No. Look. Hey, I sympathise with you. I really do. You look on the bright side. You got insurance, right? Yeah. Okay. Listen, Tony, I've got to go. I'll call you later, right? Floor. Portman, leave a message.
He said he'd meet you at the course, Mr. Kill.
Well, I don't believe in guilt. But that's your problem. Now, you're riddled with it. You're like a spider in a glass jar. You're scared to make a move in case somebody stands on it. Me? I don't believe in feeling anything I don't want to feel. Who's the geek?
Oh, no, buddy. Lawrence Carmichael. I met him at Rotary.
Oh, God, another Rotarian.
It's not, actually. It's on the council.
Local?
Yeah, he helped us push through 1 or 2 projects. We had to disassociate ourselves from him. He was on the take.
Really? Looks like he's by himself.
God, I hope he doesn't want a game.
Eric!
Lawrence, long time no see.
Too long, Eric.
Lawrence Carmichael, I'd like you to meet my boss, Lindsay Keel.
Pleasure, Lawrence. How do you do? Here alone?
Yes, just thought I'd practice a few shots.
Well, perhaps you'd like to join us.
Oh, I don't really think so.
Oh, I'm sure he's only here for a few quick holes.
Nonsense. There's no fun in playing alone. Tee up. Perhaps you can show us a few things.
Most kind of you, Lindsay. Why swing alone, eh? Oh, bad luck.
Wind. You're
Teeing up with a wedge, Lawrence?
Yes, perhaps that's where you're going wrong, if you don't mind me saying so.
Some people are so good at practicing self-deception that they hardly hear any sound other than their own voice.
Isn't that Thompson over there?
Of course not. You blind as well.
Bad luck, Lawrence. He's in the rough with you, Lindsay.
Every now and again, when the stars are in just the right position, you see two of them together.
Tell me, Lawrence, what line of work you in?
Have a seat, Mr. Patrick.
Prince Charles?
No, Prince Bryce. Self-proclaimed. He's the best we can do in Australia. Thank you. Now, what can I do for you?
I want to hire a detective. You. I want you to catch the filthy, dirty snake who took my Rosa.
Wife, daughter, girlfriend, dog?
Automobile. Car. I call her Rosa, you know. I'm a romantic. Look, first time, brand new. Beautiful, huh?
A mini minor.
Here she is at Hepburn Spring. Good shot, huh? That's her at Wagga Wagga?
Stolen car. It's a big city, Mr. Petruccini, don't you think?
It's in a
the
small
police-
car yard. Flywheel Motors. The owner, he's got Lou Smith, the crooked thief.
You know this Lou Smith?
He's my brother-in-law. Of course I know him. You think we never met?
Well, then why do you need us to help him? He's your brother.
Manaja, you don't know anything. You married?
I gave it up.
You think I call the police in on my wife's brother without proof? You crazy? I have to sleep at nights. It's bad enough, yakety-yak, yakety-yak all day. No. First you get proof, the body number. Then I fix the slippery eel.
I'll need a photo.
Sergeant, I got something on that John Doe you were asking me about. Now, this is interesting.
Yeah?
No teeth. And you can see quite clearly the gouging of the gums where the pliers were left. Now, I doubt if that killed him, though. By the looks of it, the acid was poured down his nose. But then he was stabbed 3 or 4 hours after.
Do you have many friends?
Excuse me, sir. I've got that witness to the office equipment robbery out here. He's got to get back to work, and I thought you'd want a word with him before he goes. Mr. Daly, this way, please.
Look, I'll get back to you, Morgan. Somewhere in this city, there's 6 swivel chairs, bound and gagged and fighting for their lives. Now, can you tell me?
Well, he was taking his dog for a walk, sir, and he noticed a car with a trailer attached was backed up to the side entrance.
Anything else?
Not a lot. No make on the car.
Do you remember what they looked like?
Well, there were two.
No, not really. There are a couple of scouts helping out, though.
Scout.
We'll be able to track them down, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Daly. You've been a great help.
You know, I've always been fascinated by real estate. Even as a child, I was practically unbeatable at Monopoly.
Well, it's never too late.
No, it's not my scene. Anyway, I'm flat out down at Chambers as it is.
Well, they go hand in hand in a way, don't they? Real estate, council. Foresight equals money in the bank.
How do you mean foresight?
Planning, rezoning, knowing what's going to happen before it actually happens. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think I do. When was it? Last September, that redevelopment in Goad Street. I don't really think I made the most of it.
Right. Do I remember that? Goad Street back in June. You know how to hurt a guy. That was, residential classified since Adam. Suddenly it's rezoned light industrial. Whoever bought that lot up knew what they were doing. I couldn't get a block under 80. Did the, councillors buy that up? Did they, Lawrence?
Whispers, Lindsay. Chambers are full of whispers.
I wish I'd heard those whispers. What's that? A wood you're using?
Yes, you can borrow mine if you don't have one.
It is said that with an easy, natural manner and a knowledge of your field, you can sell anything. As with many wise sayings, the reverse is also true.
Yep. I'm looking for a car.
Whoa! Geez, Quentin, I'm not deaf. What can I help you with?
I was wondering if you had something in red.
What are you looking for, a dress? Nah, I was only joking. Now, the closest I can come is brown. Looks the same at night. What about this coupe here?
That's a ute.
Well, a ute coupe, they've all got 2 seats. You get a sports car, you can take down the tip.
How about this one over here?
Needs work, it's not for sale. Stay back. Don't bend over, don't touch the car. You'll be all right. The dog doesn't like it. Just stay upright, walk slowly, and don't go near the fence. You'll be all right. Trained him myself. lot of crooks in this neighbourhood.
Is it okay if I have a look inside?
Come on, mate, I've got enough worries without of you. Tom and Harry coming here, opening and shutting the doors and wearing things out. Look, come over here, mate. I got just the car for you. Look at this. 2 new tyres, you got a brand new car. I think it starts. Quinton! Get the jumper leads over here.
You don't strike me as the real estate agent type, Mr. Portman.
Thank you.
Well, you're not really, are you? How did you end up with Keel?
By accident. By necessity. I was going to be a chess player. I was something of a prodigy back in my 20s.
Why'd you give up?
Nerves. I'd fall apart under pressure. By the time I was 30, I could think up to 16 moves ahead, but I couldn't get a job at the public service.
That figures.
My mother died, I sold the house, and I met Lindsay Keel. He offered me a job. I'm afraid I've had a very dull life.
I wonder if Lord Trevino started out like that.
How'd it go?
Like clockwork. They took it hook, line and sinker. There is one catch, however. They want to meet my connection in town planning.
Oh, I was afraid he might want that.
Where have you been? You were supposed to be at the office.
Looking at cars. What do you think about a ute?
Why not plumbers, Ken? You were supposed to be at the office. Wonder what you were like as a child.
A lot shorter.
What now?
Have you ever applied for a building permit?
That'd take forever.
I know the council chambers. Lindsay Keel set me down there to fix up this and that. 4 hours and 20 minutes. That was my best time, my shortest time as head inspector.
Aren't we getting off the beaten track here, folks?
It'll take the 2 of you. Ken, Pat, tomorrow, no, Friday, go down and ask to see a building inspector. Leave your name at the desk and wait for Keel to call. If he wants a name to speak to, we'll give him one.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't get close enough.
You'll have to try again.
He wouldn't let me near it. Besides, he's done something to his Australian Terrier which makes it look 10 times its normal size. I think the police are your best bet.
Please, I got to get my car back. We must be able to think of a way.
I could raise another dog from a pup and train it to make friends with his dog and keep it talking while I dug a tunnel.
You could go at night. Nobody there. You jump the fence, that's a good idea. And don't worry about the dog, it loves people. You ever see Barbara Woodhouse?
You think she'd come too?
Yeah, this stuff's practically new, Jimmy. Look, I want you to ask around, get rid of it as soon as possible. And if you need me, you've got my phone number, but no names, all right? Yes, well, we'll have to have you and the wife over for dinner sometime, Jimmy.
Was that Jimmy Dutton?
Yeah, he's looking for some warehouse space. Tell me something, this friend of yours, Laurie Carmichael, would you trust him?
With what?
You know Mr. Diddley down at the council chambers?
Planning, I think so. Why?
I've got to phone him.
The best time is Friday.
What?
If you want to catch anyone down at the chambers, they have drinks on a Friday, they're all in.
As people involved in the possum industry will be aware, the thing to be careful of when you're setting a trap is that you're not standing in it at the time.
Yes?
Good morning. We'd like to see somebody about a building permit, please.
Mr. Jensen. Do you have an appointment?
Do we need one?
We could have a long wait without one.
We don't mind.
I'll just check.
Oh, and there might be a call for a Mr. Diddley. If you don't mind, I told him we'd be down here. My brother's sick, so we'll be over here if he calls.
If the trap does go off and you find you can't move your feet, just wait. Someone will be along sooner or later.
Excuse me. Mr. Jensen can see you straight away.
That's our scouts over there, sir.
See if you can get them over here, will you?
Right.
Hey! You lot! Get here!
Did you boys help a man load some office equipment into his car in Lake Street last week?
Yeah, he gave us $2 each.
You remember what he looked like?
He was wearing a tie.
Good. Good.
Here we go. Comfortable, Mr. Portman? Now, mind the cup has got no handle. Sorry, Pat's fault. I told her we needed new cups.
Well, I think of it, I heard of some office equipment for sale. Quite cheap. I thought you might be interested.
Oh, yes, we're very interested.
Matter of fact, I think I've got the phone number on me. Yeah, here. Why don't you give them a ring? Tell them Jimmy mentioned it to you. My nickname.
Ah, of course. You know, I knew when I woke up this morning that this was going to be a good day.
Oh, Bryce, it's probably best not to ask his name. I think he has a worry with taxation.
Ah, right. With you.
Hey, put that down. What are you doing?
Sorry, Mr. Keel.
I've told you, this is my private phone. You do not answer it. If I'm not here, you just let it ring, but it's got nothing to do with you. Comprehend that?
Yes, Mr. Keel.
Hello? Yeah, that's right. Well, there's too much of it to list, but it's certainly for sale, yeah. Listen, do I know you? No, I don't want to meet you. What's your name? Bryce. Bryce, and we've never met.
University? No.
Law school. Well, look, anyway, Bryce, you have a look at it, and if you want it, get back in contact. Yep. Warehouse 12, Beatty Street. Right. Bye. Gloria, sorry about the yelling. Got a lot on the mind.
It's all right, Mr. Keel.
How about some coffee?
Have there been any calls for us?
No.
Remember my brother?
No, he isn't rung. Anything else?
No.
Yes. We'd like to speak to the health inspector, please.
Mr. Savage.
Or maybe you're caught in one of those cage traps. They can be very disheartening once the door slams down and you're alone in there with an apple.
Gee, my feet are not cramped. No, they go perfectly well with what I got on. Blue goes with most things.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. We've just had a John Smith on that office equipment.
A what?
Anonymous call, sir. We've got an address.
Where?
Beatty Street, Brooklyn.
Pardon?
The caller. He started.
Gene, everybody here likes them. I think Constable Parker is going to get himself a pair.
Gloria, what's the time?
It's 4:45, Mr. Keel.
Really? Get me the council chambers on the phone, quick.
Inquiries. Mr. Diddley. I'm sorry, just a moment. Excuse me, Mr. Diddley. I think it's your brother.
Hello, can I help you? Yes, he is. Just a moment, please.
Hello, this is Mr. Diddley.
Well, this is it, all right. Oh, nuts. Chewing gum. You got a hanky handy?
No. You want to use my pencil?
I'll find something else. I hate chewing gum. Honestly, it's not worth going to the trouble of trying to improve yourself. Someone coming. Quick, get up the back. Oh, my God. What the hell is he doing here? You want me to arrest him? He's a lot of things, but he's not a thief. Not intelligent enough. Keep an eye on him. He's going to lead us to someone somewhere. Such grace.
Thank you, Bryce.
Max. Max. Yeah, boy.
Trust me, pal. I've checked the furniture out personally. It's a bargain.
Why is it so cheap?
Pat, why is the ocean blue? Because it is. Trust me. I know a bargain. A killer instinct.
How did you find out about it anyway?
Eric Portman had a number.
What's Eric Portman got to do with used office equipment?
Well, he's obviously got connections. What happened to my steak?
Didn't you eat it?
Of course I didn't eat it.
Maybe a team of highly motivated mice took it, with the killer instinct and ropes.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Pat.
Oh, hello.
Sorry I'm late. I got held up. I've rented a car for you. Oh, this is for Keel.
Right.
Have you driven a Porsche before?
Certainly. What model is it?
Turbo.
Right. Well, they handle very like a Porsche.
Max! Get here!
Does it come with the sheepskin seat covers?
Not at that price.
Well, I'll think about it. Thanks.
Sir, think we need backup? If you ever find second gear, we might need it.
Now what, you don't hit him?
He stopped, sir. I think he spotted us.
I doubt it. Don't think he's well
Nah,
organised.
he's just stalled.
Japanese cars.
Would have been easier if he'd walked.
One foot in front of the other. You only see that in the higher primates.
No, it's not my car.
You said it was.
Wrong number. Funny. I thought it was. It looked like my car. Thanks very much, Ken.
I didn't think I did that much.
Very good. You tried your best. I'll send you a check in the mail.
open now, sir.
What for? Handing over an envelope? As far as I know, there's nothing illegal about envelopes. We need them for letters. I think that's enough, Parker. We don't want to break it.
Harry. Look at this. You've been eating garlic. Smell like an Italian. Why don't you try that odourless stuff? Listen, Charles Street. You know it?
Near Carden Street.
Right. It's been classified residential since Adam. Right around here, milk bar, laundromat, that's about it. But look here, Station Street, all the way back to Kite Street. It's been rezoned light industrial. Street's going to be worth a lot of money. Open the area right up.
I didn't hear.
Well, nobody's heard. But you're right, your friend Carmichael's on the take. So there's bound to be a councillor or two with plans for their properties. It's a wonderful world, Eric.
Yes.
So, what do you know that we could snatch up?
Nothing.
You heard about the garlic stuff, aren't you? Look, I'm sorry, Eric, I'm a bastard sometimes. But you know that, it's the way I am. Anyway, do a bit of footwork for me tomorrow. I'd appreciate it.
Waterboard. I'm here about your pipes.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Your water pipes need replacing? Well, that's what I've got here. Mrs. Mantler, number 58 Charles Street.
Yes. Oh, well, they must need doing then. I only rent, I wouldn't necessarily know.
Right. Now, what days are you out?
Out?
Noisy job, Mrs. Mantler. Most people prefer to go out for the day. Any particular day?
Oh,
Eric drew one of the lease contracts up to the wrong address. Could you initial the alterations, please, Mr. Gill?
Possible that he's getting worse.
Doesn't seem to be his forte.
Lindsay, I think I might have one. Number 58 Charles Street. Mr. and Mrs. Stevens. They tried to sell a couple of years ago, but couldn't get the price they wanted, so they took it off the market.
Stevens, I've never heard of them.
They're one of mine. They're going to ring back this morning. It could be a chance.
Okay, you let me know when they do.
Right.
12 Charles Street?
58.
Right.
We're ready, Mr. Portman.
I've got the Stevens on the phone. They're willing to sell. 65.
Would they take 60?
Possibly.
See if we can drop around this afternoon.
If she's out, why am I putting this coat on?
In case she's in.
Well, if she's in, why are we going in?
Just put it on, will you?
The other thing about traps is that some of them are very big, with blue doors, with 58 written on them.
You haven't many tools with you, have you?
Well,
I decided to stay in at the last minute. I'll be honest with you. I had to phone people in a couple of months ago and they left the place in a bit of a mess. Oh, look, come in, come in, come in. Mind you, I don't blame them. I don't think they knew where everything went. Anyway, I've cancelled my perm, so I might as well stay in anyway. Have you had your lunch? Oh, go in and sit down, and I won't be a minute. The kettle's just boiled.
I hope you share my quiet confidence about the way things are going, Pat.
I think I'd like to go home.
Not possible. Lateral cowardice, Pat. There are no atheists in foxholes.
What can you see?
There's a man across the road watering his concrete driveway.
Ken, this is serious. They're going to be here in a minute. Now do something. We have to get her out of here, down to the shop or something.
How?
Tea?
Yes, thanks. I'd like Earl Grey if you have it.
Oh, you like it too. Harry, my husband, loves it. I always buy it for him. Sugar?
Brown, please. Crystallised, if you have it. Well, actually, I would prefer it in a plastic cup, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Have you got any TikToks?
I think I have. And there is skim milk and bottled milk, and I think there's a little soya left too.
Oh, anything, thanks.
Sit down, sit down. Now, you'll have to excuse me. I hope you like rainbow cake.
Oh, God, Ken, they're here. Get out there.
What'll I do?
Well, anything. Talk. Do something. Just keep her in the kitchen. Just a minute. It's all right. I'll get it. It's for us anyway.
Mrs. Stevens, I'd like you to meet Mr. Keel.
Mr. Stevens.
Hi. Look, I'm afraid it's going to have to be a whirlwind tour because we're running a little later than we thought we were.
Well, we don't want to inconvenience you.
Not at all, Mr. Keel. Come in. This is the hallway. There's a lounge in there. That's a bedroom. The bathroom's down there. And the kitchen. I'm sorry we can't ask you in.
Messy.
This is my husband, John.
Mr. Stevens?
Hello, dears. He's doing a wonderful job.
That's my mother. We take care of her. She doesn't know the house is on the market.
No, I understand. Best place for them's in a home. Got to think of yourself sometimes. Well, you can keep flat out just maintaining the old places, can't you? Remember Mr. Wilson used to live in Pip Street?
I do, yeah.
He had an old place. Always working on it. Bingo. Heart attack. Dead. Sell of heap.
And now, through here, I bet you'd like to see the backyard.
Hospital. What sort of people want to live next to a hospital? Christ. What have we got?
Hospital. Mrs. Scott.
Mrs. Scott. No, it wouldn't work. That's a 60-day settlement. Stevens want one within 30. I want to make it as easy as possible for him.
It could work.
Yeah, I tear up Mrs. Scott's contract. You're shrewder than you look, aren't you? If only I would tear up Mrs. Scott's contract and ease your troubled conscience. I can read right through you. It's been bugging you for days, hasn't it? But maybe I could. All right, try her, Mrs. Scott. Get back to the Stevens. If it's all right, show them through this afternoon. If they want it, sign them up in the morning.
I'm not sure I'll be welcomed by Mrs. Scott.
Yeah. Give Mrs. Scott her contract. You could even tear it up for her.
Oh, have some more. Go on. You're so thin.
Oh, thank you.
Well, how's it going?
Did you fix the tap?
Almost. Had to replace all the tappets, you know.
Oh.
Flanges.
We've got the news on the other one, sir.
What?
The bloke that Bryce was meeting. His name's Keel. Real estate agent, broker, that sort of thing.
Agent. Look up the owner or whoever it was who reported this furniture in the first place.
Right.
See if you can get a blow-up of his shoes, will you?
Hello? Hello, is anyone here? Oh, hello there. I'm Mrs. Mantler. Are you the man I should thank for having the water done?
Pardon, lady?
I rent one of your houses down here.
Mr. Portman handles rentals. He's not in at the moment, but you can wait for him in there.
Oh, it's a great improvement, too. Well, apart from the one tap.
Yes, yes. Now, if you don't mind, lady, I'm rather busy.
I hope Mr. Portman likes rainbow cake. Do you know if he does?
No idea.
Just a small way of saying thanks for arranging it all. Now, you'll see that he gets it, will you?
No worries.
Now, don't forget, tell him it's from Mrs. Mantler, 58 Charles Street.
Mrs. Mantler?
I was there last week registering a company. I wonder if it's gone through yet. J&E Stevens, Proprietary Limited.
Where the hell have you been? The rental file, where do you keep it? Quick, girl, I want to know. Who owns 58 Charles Street?
It's tenanted by Mr. and Mrs. Mantler.
Who owns it? Harland Investment Group. Who the hell are they?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Never mind. Get me to Council Chambers on the phone. I want to speak to a Mr. Carmichael.
No, I'm sorry. There's no Mr. Carmichael working here. No, not in any department. Who? Diddley.
Anything more before I go, Mr. Keel?
Yes, there is. Get me the Charles Street file and come in here.
Something's worrying me. It's about Portman. I thought I trusted him before, but I don't think I do anymore.
I don't see why not. He's had Bryce posing as a counsellor who doesn't really exist. I've answered phones as a Mr. Diddley, dressed up as a plumber, pretending my name was Stevens, and tried to sell a house I hadn't laid eyes on before today.
I trust him implicitly.
It's all right, Pat. Bryce trusts him.
He says he's a real estate agent, but what else do we know about him? Now, if we can go around pretending to be people we're not, why can't he?
It's quite simple, Pat. I've seen his briefcase. It says Eric Portman, quite clearly.
Can you do one of your moose calls for us, Bryce?
I've learned to read faces.
He wears a beard. How can you read hair? Maybe that's why he grew it. He'd heard about the way you can read faces, Bryce.
Good morning, Mr. Keel.
Portman in?
I just missed him, Mr. Keel. He dropped the contracts in. Said everything was ready for the 11 o'clock signing.
Did he? Did Mr. Portman say when he'd be back?
11, I think.
Yes? Bryce. Yeah, the furniture. Cash. All right, I'll see you at the warehouse, 1 o'clock. Right. Gloria, my darling, I think you're going to have to retype Mr. Portman's contracts. He's made quite a few blues. Do you mind? Don't worry about the dates. I'll fill those in myself. You're looking thinner today. New dress.
Did you post that cheque? It's all set. You'll get it in the mail. Good. I'll fix you up for tomorrow. By the way, could you give Bryce a call? Tell him to change that appointment at the warehouse with Keel to 3.
Wonderful morning, isn't it?
It's raining outside, Bryce.
Somebody's opened my letter. Bryce?
It was a perfectly honest mistake. It was addressed to Excelsior Research.
Addressed to me, care of Excelsior Research.
The cheque was made out to Excelsior Research.
What cheque?
Mr. Petrocini.
$500? What did you do for it?
What if it hadn't been a cheque, Bryce? What if it had been a personal letter or something?
Don't be silly, Ken. I can't tell the difference. I'd have seen that when I held it up to the light.
Have you ever had a personal letter, Ken?
Hello.
Ah, Mr. Portman.
Just dropping in to let you know the good news. Keel has torn up Mrs. Scott's contract.
Oh, so it worked.
Of course it worked, Pat.
All that's left is for you and Ken to come down to the office this morning. 11 o'clock.
I thought it was over.
It is, and Mrs. Scott's off the hook. Why isn't it?
The signing.
What signing?
Well, that was Keel's deal. He tore up Mrs. Scott's contract so Mr. and Mrs. Stevens could repurchase her house.
So?
Well, I'm still on the hook, I'm afraid. If you don't turn up, it won't take him a minute to realise I was responsible. Well, by signing, I'll buy 3 days. Well, he won't want to look at the contract again until after the cooling-off period. I'll need that time to get my affairs in order. I'm going to be out of a job, I'm afraid.
You want us to sign contracts using false names to sell a house that we don't own?
I assure you, it's quite safe. I drew the contracts up myself. They're phony.
It's quite safe, Pat. It's not binding.
It's quite safe, Pat. It's one of the safest frauds you can be party to, signing phony contracts.
It's all right. You won't be signing your own names.
You won't be signing your own names.
No, we'll be signing false names on the phony contracts, Pat.
It's 20 to 11. We'd better get going.
Contracts all done?
Yes, Mr. Keel.
Good girl. I'll fix the dates.
Hello? A friend of Jimmy's. Ah, the warehouse. No, certainly. 3 o'clock should be no problem.
Of course, the cleverer the trap, the easier it is to lose track of who's likely to get caught in it.
I'm sorry I'm late. Mrs. Stevens, Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Keel.
Now, as I understand it, you've seen Mrs. Scott's house and she's prepared to vacate within 30 days of settlement.
I've explained all that to them, Lindsay.
Eric, I don't think I need you in here. I can explain the last few details to Mr. and Mrs. Stevens. Could you just give us 10 minutes?
You want me to leave?
Oh, if you don't mind.
This reduces the number of people currently caught in this trap to 3. The person it was designed to catch, and 2 other people.
Now, you're both clear about the cooling-off period?
Yes, Mr. Portman explained it to us.
I wouldn't mind hearing it again, actually.
Well, it allows you as purchasers a 3-day breathing space. Gloria, could you bring in the contracts, please? So if you wish to back out within that time, then, well, there'll be a small penalty, say $100. But after 3 days, all contracts are legally binding from today's date, which you can notice there on the top copy. So, if you just care to sign wherever it's marked with a cross. Gloria, can you witness?
The two other people are now signing as two other people in order to spring the trap. Look at Pat keeping calm. You've signed as the purchaser on our house, Mr. Keel.
I've signed on behalf of the purchasing company, yes. But that's duly noted on the back. All done. Eric, could you come in here for a minute? Gloria, put those in the safe, please. Oh, by the way, Eric, I had Gloria draw up some new contracts. You've made quite a few boo-boos in your typing.
Pardon?
Well, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Stevens. You've just bought yourself charges of misrepresentation. Or is it Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Look, I don't know who you are, but you might as well hold on to these as souvenirs. You see, you don't own 58 Charles Street. Ireland Investment Group do. Clumsy, Eric. Playing a little too close to home.
The documents aren't legal. They can back out the calling off period.
Oh, but I've been a bad boy, Eric. I've backdated them. They're legally binding.
What's happening?
No, it's okay, Ken. I saw today's date on the contract.
Top copy only. You should have looked underneath. Who the hell do you people think you are? This is what I do best. I'm a professional. So I suggest you get yourself a lawyer. He's going to have to be a good one. Now, I have an appointment, if you'll excuse me. Important. Get your things and get out. I don't want to see you when I get back. Good afternoon.
I don't believe this.
Don't believe what? Is it over now?
We have just tried to sell a house that we don't own, Ken, and I think from what just happened we might be in serious trouble. Am I right, Mr. Portman? Mr. Portman?
He's gone.
Thank you, Lord. Drink?
You can't be serious.
No, I'm sorry, I couldn't let you in on everything.
Let us in on what?
Keel just bought himself a house.
For top dollar.
Ireland something or other owned that house. Didn't you hear what he said?
We're Ireland Investment Group. We've been wanting to sell that place for quite some time, haven't we, Eric?
Hang on, we're the ones who signed, Mr. and Mrs. Stevens.
Ah, Mr. John and Edith Stevens is a company name. You two were the proprietors of John and Edith Stevens. I had it registered as a subsidiary of Ireland Investments. So, if you'd just like to sign your real names beside John and Edith Stevens, and this one, you'll be authorised by Ireland to purchase and sell its holdings. It's all perfectly legal. There's nothing difficult. It's just paper shuffling. I had to backdate there a little myself.
Is there an English translation to this?
What about Mrs. Scott?
Oh, Ireland will give her a good price.
And that's all there is to it?
Quite simple, really.
Can you just run that past me again? Am I going to jail or not?
Crying out loud, will you keep your head down? Mr. Petroncini, what are you doing here?
Who gave you the tip-off, huh? Mamie. Who owns the furniture? Me, Antonio.
Mr. Petroncini, this is a police matter now. I don't want you to take offence, but...
All right, I don't.
Oi, get there.
There he is. Keel, my real estate agent. A dirty dog.
Man in the photo, sir. He reported it stolen in the first place. Blamed it on the tenants.
That's right. The scaly lizard. Well, what are you waiting for? Shoot, quick, before he gets away.
Don't think that'll be necessary. Parker, put that gun away. If you don't mind, I'm waiting for someone else. Come on, Bryce, where are you?
Bryce? That's my man. He won't be coming.
Bryce? Your man? Bryce from Excelsior Research Foundation? Bryce masterminded this.
That's right. Bryce is brilliant.
I don't think I believe you, Mr. Petroncini.
He works for me. What do you think I give him this for? $500. Do you think I pay him to paint my house? He set it up. Bryce won't be coming.
Do we have enough to hold Keel, sir? Oh, I don't.
Maybe we do. Pick him up. Not you, Mr. Petroncini.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Sorry, no English.
Oh, God. Furniture. Do you know anything about furniture? Huh? Furniture.
You know, typewriter.
Ah, piano.
No, typewriter. Filing cabinet. Desk. You know, chair.
Furniture.
See.
Sorry, furniture sold before.
Marvellous. That's very nice. Huh? Never mind, you wouldn't understand. No bloody ethics at all in the hot countries.
Whose turn is it?
Well, that's it as far as I'm concerned. I'll wash my hands of the whole inconsiderate business. You can't trust anybody.
You get the furniture?
No. It fell through.
Why don't you jump me, Ken?
That's very thoughtful of you, Pam.
Commonwealth Prime Minister's Conference. You probably earned him a bally night.